A famous person.
Speaking of a famous person, I want to talk about Yao Ming. With a height of 7'6", Yao is considered one of the best centers in the National Basketball Association (NBA) today. He played for the Shanghai Sharks of the Chinese Basketball Association (CBA) for 5 years, and now plays center for the Houston Rockets in the NBA. He was selected by Houston as the first overall pick of the 2002 NBA draft and signed with them on October 21, 2002. In his NBA career of 2002 to 2003 season, Yao Ming scored 6 points and blocked O'Neal twice in the opening minutes. Yao finished his rookie season with 10 points and 10 rebounds. As a rookie, he did a great job. After that, he was also voted to be the starting center in the NBA All-Star Game for 2003, 2004, 2005, and 2006. In 2005, Yao became the subject of a documentary film, The Year of the Yao, which focuses on his NBA rookie year and his first year living in the United States. Besides, Yao has participated in many benefit events during his career. In 2003, Yao hosted a telethon which raised $300,000 to help stop the spread of SARS. In 2006, Yao Ming promised never to eat shark fin soup again in order to raise awareness of wildlife protection. He also starred with Lakers legend Magic Johnson in a PSA calling on the public not to fear or discriminate against those with HIV/AIDS. Yao Ming is also the endorser for many big events and brands: the 2008 Beijing Olympics, McDonald's, Pepsi, Visa, Apple, and Reebok. Although being such a successful icon today, he is still very modest. He said in an interview, "The NBA is a big family, and I think of all these rookies as my brothers. I still believe I am blue-collar among the All-Stars." I think Yao Ming is much more than a successful icon from every single sense. I admire him deeply.
This one, language is pretty good. Language is very specific to basketball. But unless you wrote a thesis on Yao Ming, I don't know how you're going to know all this during the test. So maybe not the most realistic example. I mean, she pulls a lot of stats out that I don't know, most people probably won't know that. But anyway, let's look at some language that happened here. So in his NBA career of 2000-2002 season, 1 year is not a season, so no. So in the 2002 to 2003 season, that's not his career. So just in the 2002 to 2002 season. Let's see here. Here she talked about how in an interview he said he's blue collar among the All-Stars. Now I googled this quote. I couldn't find it. I don't know if Yao Ming said this in Chinese, or maybe this is just not a real quote. Anyway, blue collar has nothing to do with sport. It has to do with the kind of work you do. So I don't know what she's trying to say about this, but blue collar is not the right word to use. And then I think Yao Ming is much more than a successful icon from every single sense. The preposition we use for sense is in every single sense. And then here Yao Ming is also the endorser for many big events. It should be of. You endorse things, so you are an endorser of things. And why is it the? Because surely he's not the only one. So he is an endorser of certain events. Now, here we have although being. Although being such a successful icon today, he's still very modest. if you're going to be using being, then the next clause has to be a subordinate clause, meaning it cannot be a complete sentence. But he is still very modest is a complete sentence, so the grammar is wrong. Instead, she could say something like, being such a successful icon today is great. That works because is great is not a complete sentence, it's a subordinate clause. So being goes with subordinate clauses. Maybe I should say the clause where being, where you put being, should be followed by a subordinate clause. But you know what? There's so much vocabulary very specific to basketball that if by some miracle you know this much about basketball in your test, I think your score is going to be pretty good. Because I mean, she uses words like center. She says he was selected as the first overall pick. Overall pick is a great word to be using when you're talking about basketball. Draft. He was the first overall pick of the 2002 NBA draft. Draft is a great word. Blocked is a great word. Rookie is a great word. Rebound. Starting center. Towards the end, it goes into more general vocabulary, but wow, there's a lot of very specific vocabulary related to basketball, so that's a big plus.
Talking about a famous person, I want to talk about Zhang Ziyi. Graduated from the Central Academy of Drama, Zhang Ziyi made her on-screen debut in The Road Home in 1999. 1 year later, she landed a high-profile part in Ang Lee's smash hit, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. The role brought Zhang to the attention of international audiences, where her porcelain good looks and steely undertones made her famous overnight. In 2002, she starred Hero, and she starred in action film House of Flying Daggers, 2004, Memoirs of a Geisha, 2005, and Banquet, 2006. Besides her excellent performance in lots of Hollywood blockbusters, Zhang Ziyi has proved her universal charisma by being a 2-time Oscar Awards presenter and a judge at Cannes Film Festival 2005. She was listed in People's World's 50 Most Beautiful People and in Time's World's 100 Most Beautiful People. They called her China's gift to Hollywood. In 2006, she won the You Bring Charm to the World award. Zhang Ziyi is in the cover of Times Magazine special in 2005. She is the first Chinese woman to achieve this feat. She is also in the cover of lots of other well-known magazines like Vanity Fair, Vogue, the New York Times Magazine, and Entertainment Weekly, etc. Well, I have to say that the West is just incurably fascinated by Zhang. I am telling you, she is just charismatic in every single sense. She said in an interview, "People who trust me will not be swayed by what's been said about me, and for people who don't, no amount of good reports will persuade them. I think what I could do is to be who I am and do what I should." Isn't it just amazing? Gosh, I just love her words, which make me love her even more.
And this is again a very good response. There's not a whole lot wrong with it. It's a good response, maybe not a very realistic response. I mean, who is going to have all this information at their fingertips during their talk in the IELTS test? It's not very realistic. I mean, knowing all these dates. Anyway, let's look at some of the good language. Like we have on-screen debut. If you're talking about movies, debut is a great word to use. Role is a good word to be using. Porcelain good looks, steely undertones when you're describing an actor. Star, I guess that's kind of basic. Universal charisma, that's a good term to be using. Charismatic, I guess is okay. The pattern is pretty similar to the response we had before. I forgot. Oh, about the Yao Ming one. Yeah. We have a little bit of a history. Then we have a quote, again, I don't think this is a real quote. We have lots of dates and very specific information. So there's not a whole lot wrong with this. The only thing I can say maybe is, here in the beginning, graduated from the Central Academy of Drama. Zhang Ziyi made her on-screen debut in The Road Home in 1999. That graduated, that's not the right form of the verb. We should say after graduating from the Central Academy of Drama, Zhang Ziyi made her blah 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 blah. So after graduating, that graduated. And then here it's just a small mistake. I think they just forgot to put the preposition there. In 2002, she starred in Hero. And then here's another mistake with prepositions. She's also on the cover of lots of other well-known magazines, not in. Cover is the surface, so you can't be in the cover. So good, yes. Realistic, not so much.